covered it up so ne'er it could be found, so no one would ever know what's deep down in Mel's ground. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-oh. There's no bottom to Mel's. So if you chance to find yourself in eastern Washington and hear the legend of Mel's Hole, be wary, my dear one. Don't ride alone at night on that Matacia Ridge, but listen carefully to the moaning deep within. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-oh. Ghost riders o'er Mel's Hole. Moral of the story in eastern Washington is if you find a deep dark hole, don't tell just anyone. For if you call into Art Bell on Coast to Coast again, you may disappear on the Matacia in the deep dark hole within. Yippee-yi-yay, there's no bottom to Mel's.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on My Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Well, thank you, John. And I feel like a total idiot right now. I am holding my key fob with the key to my Harley for my street light. And evidently, boy, this is hard to even admit to it, but I came home from my last ride. There was bird seed all around the bird cages. And before I even, went in there to take my boots off and everything else, I grabbed the shop vac and started vacuuming. I must have laid the keys down next to a bird cage, which is right next to the outlet on the one side of the kitchen. It's also the counter where I put the mail. So I don't know what to say. I have tore my whole bedroom apart. I have tore my studio apart. I looked all through the kitchen. Never once went over by the outlet where the bird cages are. So there it is. I have the keys.
Do you see what I'm saying with people? They don't understand that the key factor is if you want to find something, and we'll talk about a couple other my fun cases. I told you the word electrical plug, and your brain went zip. And I'm telling you, it clicked, and you go, oh God, that rings a bell.
Yeah, it did, because, as soon as you mentioned that, I remember coming up the house, I had the keys in my hand, and I remember getting the shop vac, and I must have laid the keys right there as I went and plugged in the shop vac.
Isn't it cool? It's amazing. I think that the brain knows where things are, whether it's a missing object, treasure, anything. I think that we just have to click in to the link. And I remember one time a psychic saying to me, one of my favorite psychics, Diane Nagorka in Delaware, she said, you have all the keys to being very successful as a psychic. I said, yeah, I know. And I wasn't being cocky. It's just that I want to help others turn on their brain. If you turn that little switch, that little key to your brain, that link, I said the word electrical plug, and your brain went,
It did. It really, that's, I was thinking about that as soon as you mentioned that for like 15 minutes, because if you knew how seriously I wanted to go riding here the last couple of days, And I looked everywhere, and and this the bad part is they get a key from Harley for the bike, which I can't find my other set. I think I loaned it to one of my sons, and he lost it somewhere. But I had 2 sets with the key fobs, and without the key fob, you can't start it no matter what because it's an electronic device for the security system. So I couldn't go riding the last couple of days. It's been killing me, and I got so frustrated. I tore the bedroom apart. I tore the bathroom apart. I tore the living room apart. I tore most of the kitchen apart. I don't. I very seldom go. I hate to say it. I'm not a bird lover. My wife is, and I no offense. I find them annoying because they're noisy. Especially her one bird she has, a macaw, and it seems to know when my show comes on. And even in my soundproof studio, I can still barely hear it sometimes, and it just, I don't know. But there it was, and it's one place I never thought about looking.
Well, let me ask you a question because I always like feedback. Where was the blender in relationship to? Because sometimes I tell people if you're picking up all these things that belong in a kitchen, you go to the kitchen. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, well, the blender is green, and it was approximately about 2 feet away on the same counter. Not bad.
And then we have the electrical plug. There's your next landmark, because I call them landmarks. Okay. And then were there any envelopes, or you said the mail was nearby?
Yeah, we have a little wood box there that we put everybody. I still have a couple adult kids living at home. So, I put all the mail in this box, and then they go through it and pull their mail out. Yeah,
fantastic. Well, you got your key.
I got my key, and I know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to go riding.
Oh, yay. Yeah, there you go. There's
you made my day. You made my night. I hate to say it, at 66 years old, when I lose stuff, I have been prone, with my keys, and not just the motorcycle key. But, I borrowed my wife's key one time for her car. And it was about a week after she just bought it from the showroom. And she let me, take it out to go to the little store. I came home, and I have this thing. I love ice cream. And I evidently put the keys in the freezer with the ice cream for some reason. And, we did find it, but it took like a couple hours tearing the house apart.
Well, see, in your mind, if I said the link or the landmark, sometimes your body, it's called deviceless body dowsing. A lot of the remote viewers are using the word remote viewing, but because they don't want to say the word I'm having a vision. They want to say, oh, I'm using remote viewing. Viewing, vision, same thing. It's just repackaged. The key thing is if you see something in your head, you have to pay attention. Like if it was missing in the freezer, the first thing is you might get the cold chills. Or you might think of frozen peas because in a thesaurus, what goes with the freezer, I guess I'm saying similarities. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I'll talk about, you want to talk about one of my treasure cases, if that would help?
Well,
no, you know what? I didn't.
Yeah, we didn't finish. The folder, and then after that, I want to, Al Capone, his bounty. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, let's go back to Jack Hope. So he was in New York. I sent him to his office, just like I sent you to your kitchen. And I said, I'm standing at your desk, but I feel like I'm facing your desk. Now, as a psychic, you can say, but I didn't do northeast, southwest with him. All right. I said, face your desk. So you get my general idea. I said, if I put my hand out to the right, would I be right near a window? And he said, yes. So in other words, I'm on target with my little landmark. So I said, okay, do you have like 3 drawers on the right side? And he goes, yes. I said, I don't see any drawers on the left. He goes, that's correct. I said, this sounds goofy. I'm getting 2. And he goes, okay. I said, 2 means the second drawer. So do you see what I'm saying? Everything has a pattern.
Yeah,
so I said, go. I said, so weird, but I figured it out. It's got a code, And I said, go down to the second drawer. And he goes, okay. So he opens. I said, open it up. And he goes, okay. And I'm hearing the word. And this, I got to tell you something funny I did today later that's going to be linked to that. I said, I see Santa Claus. He goes, what? I see Santa Claus. And I'm dowsing this the whole time, okay? and my dowsing is confirming, saying, yes, 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 Santa Claus, yes, Santa Claus. If it had said no, 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 I would use the word beard, because what does Santa have? He has a beard. Or I'm seeing white beard or red. So my brain said, I color code everything I do. I mean, I do that because I can find things faster. And I said, I want you to look in that drawer and see if there's a file folder having to do with either Christmas or Santa or something like that. And, of course, he's cursing at me, saying, Ginette, you're so crazy. Like, you just thought I was crazy. And he goes, okay, I'll do it. So he's looking in the drawer, and he goes, yeah, there's a red file folder. I said, I want you to pull it up, put it on its side, and I want you to look 2 folders back or 2 folders forward, and that's where your folder is. And I hear this all the time. He goes, Ginette, you're so full of beep, beep, And I said, okay, whatever. Just do me a favor and do it. And he goes, could you hold on a second? And I said, yeah. And he puts the phone down and he starts screaming. He goes, it's right there. He goes, how the hell did you do that? And I said, it's not magic. It's telling the brain what is near what I'm looking for. And you did the same thing. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Oh, I do.
It totally makes sense, doesn't it? That's why I said with Bigfoot, what are we doing trying to catch him at his cave? That's the dumbest thing. You're catching a grumpy guy. Go for his food. He's sitting. When you eat, you sit there for the longest period of time. When you sleep, you do. But, I mean, if you're going to catch a Bigfoot sleeping, you need to either get a drone that doesn't make any noise, which I find that hard to believe, or you either get one of those little snake cameras so you can go into a cave and not get killed by Bigfoot and really piss him off. So go to where he's satisfied, which is going to be the fruits, the berries, that kind of thing, if that makes sense. So, of course, Jack was screaming, get back to Mr. Jack, and he goes, I've never seen anything like this. I said, I told you. I'm sort of a freak of nature. I find missing objects and things, and I'm just good at it. And he goes, well, I'm going to tell everybody about you. So I made the 1996-1998 January issue of the Smithsonian Magazine, and I was the only one to find anything and pass the test.
Oh, wow. Now,
and so he was like, so I'm a freak of nature. Okay, it is what it is.
Well, how long have you been doing this?
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. My father's very famous for locating booby traps and bombs for the government. He worked with the CIA on projects. He worked with the FBI. He worked with police. And what had happened was he originally went out looking for water with the forked stick. And he thought the forked stick was stupid. And at that time, I was about 6 or 7, okay? And so he said, let's take it from the forked stick and he invented, to my knowledge, the L rod. And so I just found the copyright the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh. So instead of the forked, stupid-looking stick, you're handling what's called the L rod, and the L rod will point you in the direction of the water, and then you ask all these questions, like I just did with you, because we had to iron out, are we looking for the black Harley key, or are we looking for the red Harley key? Do you see what I'm saying? How important it is?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do now.
I mean, you're Mr. Happy Camper now, so now you're going to be telling everybody about me, so it's worth it, but I'm glad I found your key. But the key factor with people on finding any of these things we have missing, these mysteries, you have to say question after question after question. I'm glad the FBI is out there helping people find people. I'm glad they're out there doing this or doing that. I don't think they always ask the right questions, and I think that's why things don't. I really think that's why they don't go solved. That's just my opinion. All right, so we used Bigfoot as an example, and now we talked about Jack Hope in New York, and he found the file folder, and he probably peed in his pants, and it is what it is. I do it all the time, and I love what I do, and so let's move on and talk about Al Capone. You want to do that?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, go ahead and tell the listeners about that.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to bore people, but the Al Capone story, the reason it's so amazing is even when I do it, every time I do this, I amaze myself. But I stick to what I see, and I say, I see this, I see that, I see this. And had I not said the electrical plug,